So today we are going to implement the login page, and with login page, we are going to implement the auth guard also. Okay. Now, so um, what are the applications are there where we need the login page? What applications are there where we need the login page?
Admin app.
Admin application. Okay. Again.
Staffing application where the person has to.
Yeah, means admin kind of. See, there are two types of web application, either website or admin application. What's the difference between those? What is website and what is admin app?
Admin is within the organization where the person control all the information.
Admin is for a specific person. Websites for similar to all of them.
Okay. And what's the website then?
Website is a logic which similar to the all of them है, which view सबको एक ही जैसा लॉजिक मिलेगा और एक ही जैसे व्यू मिलने वाला है बट एडमिन जो होता है वो स्पेसिफिक पर्सन के लिए होता है.
Mm, kind of right, but see,
ये-
website, when we create a website, let's say it's an e-commerce app. Okay.
हम्म,
Then let's say it's a school website, any hospital website. Now, hospital can have a website also and can have an admin app also, correct? Just like that, e-commerce can have a website also and admin app also.
So
Even school
we
can
can
have a
say
website and admin app also, right?
we can say that the website is to provide the service, and to manage the website there is admin.
Right. So if we talk about e-commerce application, obviously we need a website where we are going to show the products, categories, offers, everything. Customer will be able to log in on the website. Just a normal registration form will be there. He will be able to log in and he will do add to cart and everything. And he can see his orders also, right? But from where those products are coming? So for that, we need admin panel of e-commerce application. From there, different vendors will create their product. They can see their card, they can see their order, shipping information, everything. Just like that, hospital can have a website to show like what services they provide, how in what area they are expert and everything, their addresses and everything, right? But hospital admission process, payment, test, everything, whatever they need for their hospital purpose, there will be an app. There will be an app which will be admin app. So admin app is basically a software. Okay, admin app is basically a software, and website is just to web contain some pages where we show the information. Understood? Clear
yes sir.
between those?
Yes.
हम्म,
Now, website also need the login page, and admin app also need the login page. Correct? Because in e-commerce
Yes.
you can see web login page is there, and in admin app, so by default we need the login page, because without admin we cannot show all the pages to anyone, na? Because these are all these pages. When we say admin application, all these pages should be restricted. If user logged in, then only we can show the data, right? So either it is a website or either it is a admin panel. Both the cases we have to show the both the cases we have to implement the login page. Okay. Now, in case of
Real
web,
estate real estate comes under in this
yeah,
real
everything.
estate.
Real estate will have a website and they will have also the admin panel. Na? Okay. So website, when we say website, in website, if we have a login page, by default, all the menus will be visible, right? If we visit Amazon, see all the navbar and everything is visible. Okay. But I'm not logged in yet. I can log in still. After login also same menus will be visible. But after the login, I will be saying like your order, your wish list. Some user specific menus will be visible, right? But in case of admin application, when we log in, by default, only login page will be visible. Once user log in, then he will jump inside the application. There he can see the navbar and everything. Okay. I'm repeating this
बट
once
सर
again.
वो वेब एप्लीकेशन हो जाता है ना फिर, जैसे वेबसाइट में अगर आप लॉगिन कर लेते हो,
Hmm.
which convert into the web application.
No, I'm repeat once again.
जिस वेबसाइट में मतलब जब आप लॉगिन कर लेते हो,
Hmm.
तो उसके बाद तो वेब एप्लीकेशन की कैटेगरी में जाएगा.
No, see, don't confuse like that. Both applications are different, website and admin. Okay. Admin app is something. Let me find. You might have visited some
Where
application, private applications. Okay. Those applications are not available to everyone. When you visit that particular application, you will only find the login page, nothing else. And once you
Okay.
log in, then you get to see all the menus and everything because that's admin app. It's not available to everyone. Thing to show to the user.
Mhm.
Voice. Voice is not coming.
Is it coming now?
Yes, yes.
yes.
Okay. So both the application will behave the same. Just in case of admin application, in case of admin application only some applications are like that where by default only login page will be visible. After login, all the menus and everything will be coming. But in some admin application, there is a requirement that without login also some pages should be visible, some information kind of thing. So that is also possible. Okay. Now,
Yes.
just like in here also, if we go to the login page, nothing is visible, right? But before login, menus were visible. So just login page is independent. Okay. In some web application, we can have a login page with menu also. It is also possible. Various scenarios are there. So nothing specific like in website, we will have this kind of structure or in admin application, we will have this kind of structure. Nothing will be like that. Okay. In website also, we can have so many scenarios. In admin app also, we can have so many scenarios. Fine. Now, so first we are going to implement a admin application. Then we will implement the website kind of application. Now, whenever Angular applications start, right? So what's the parent component we have? What is the parent component?
App component.
App component is our parent component running. Okay. Now, when we have to when we have to implement the login page, and we are considering that by default only login page should be visible. Okay. So we need two parent. So once user is not logged in, app component will be our parent component. And after login, we need another component which will act as a parent component. Okay. So whenever you have to implement the login page in admin kind of application, so you need two components. So one will be your login component and one will be extra component, which will act as a parent component. There we put our navbar and everything. Okay. So first component I'm creating ng generate component login. Enter. After login, we will need one more component that I will call layout. So this layout, why I normally create the layout component for that parent component, because I'm from the .NET background. In .NET, when we work in MVC application, so there we used to have the layout page where we used to get that navbar and everything. Okay. You can keep it as a header or home also, anything. So we have created two components, layout and the login. So now in my app component, this navbar should not be over here. Now this navbar, if I put this navbar over here, obviously by default navbar will be visible. But what I said, we are going to create an admin application. So this navbar will get moved to our layout component. Okay. Now, so in our app component, what we will have just router outlet. So we have created our components, login and the layout. So let's create the routing now. So in our routing, structure will change a little bit now. So first is like empty default route was there. So if path is empty, we will redirect to dashboard. But now by default, which component we have to open,
Login.
right?
Login.
So we need login. After that, we need a login route. So path here, login route, component, login component. Okay, let's save till now. Now, if I don't have anything, sorry, 4209. So see, if I don't have anything in the route, it is navigating to login component. Okay. Now, so in login component, okay. So after login, we need another route which will be empty, and component will be our layout component, the other
Layout.
parent component which we have created. After that, children. So all the component which we are going to access after login will be children of this layout component. So these all routes, so this all routes will go inside the children. Okay. So when we say admin application, so this should be our structure. The parent component, extra parent component which we will create, all the routes which we are going to access after the login will be children of layout component. This structure we have to follow when we have to create an admin application. Means by default only login page should be visible, and after login all the components should be visible. So we normally follow this routing structure. Okay.
So in both login and layout, the path is empty.
Yeah, I will come to that. So once you log in, after that, if you navigate to the dashboard, because we are not going to log in with the empty URL. Now, see, now if you see, how does route get executed? Whatever the first route it match. Okay. Here also we have empty. Here also we have empty. Agree. But this is the first route, na?
Yes.
So it will get executed. First come, first serve basis. Okay. So that's why that wildcard route we put it at the end. Okay. So whatever the first
Mm.
route is there, that will be processed as the first. So now if we execute, still it is logging to, still it is navigating to login only. Okay. Instead of empty, here we can pass some admin or something also. But again, your whole routing will change. Again, let's say if you have to navigate to the dashboard, that will be admin slash dashboard. Like that, you have to navigate. Understood? Any
Mm.
component, any route, if you have to access, then you will access by admin slash whatever the variable employee list I did. But if you don't want that, you can keep it as empty. Then directly with the route name, you can access. Okay? I will explain it again. So our routing structure is done. We have created login component, layout component, and then routing we have changed. And in app component, we have removed the navbar, and that navbar we have put it into our layout component. And in our app component, we will just have our router outlet. Okay. Now we need the login page. So let's use ChatGPT only. Everyone knows Bolt AI, right? Is anyone there who don't know Bolt AI? Everyone knows Bolt AI?
Yes.
Okay. So I need a login page. Those who are fresher don't use any AI tool for anything. Okay. If you are using it, then it will be very hard for you. You won't actually understand all those concepts and everything. Okay. Don't use don't use any AI tool for anything. Sorry, we just need actual HTML over here. Then body and this CSS we need in our login component.css. We don't have body, right? Over here we don't have body, but obviously we need that CSS, whatever CSS they have written in the body. Okay, background color is there, not needed. Let's remove. Let's save. So you can see basic login page we have got. Okay. Can anyone create this login page without the help of ChatGPT, just like as it is? Without taking help of any AI tool, can anyone create this login page?
Yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
Exactly
Yes, sir.
same. It should be in the
Exactly.
center. It should
Yes,
be in
sir.
the center, right? So that much UI confidence you should have. Because I cannot create, because I don't know like how we center and everything. Okay. But at least have something example like this ready. Because you cannot know like in machine test what they might ask. Right? But at least login page you should be ready. Like how do we make this div center and everything? Okay, fine. So login page is there. Now, so when it comes to login page, there are two types of login. What are the various types of login we can do? What are the various types of login we can do?
Username and password
No, I
sending
mean,
in the body.
no, I mean,
Admin and website.
no. See, first is
Auth
hard code login.
2.0 something.
No. Hard code or static login.
Hard code or static or
Okay.
Okay.
dynamic.
Means we will hard code the user credential in our code. Okay. Second is with API. Okay. With API also we have normal login with the database credential and one more with Windows credential. Okay. This is called that MSL or MSL only. Microsoft means when we work on any
Sorry,
company.
there is another one like through a login
Yeah,
with Google or
login
something.
with Google also.
Like single sign-on, sir.
Single sign, yeah.
No, this is single
That's
sign-on. And with Google, what do you call it? Something word is there, no?
But this one is limited to Windows only, na, sir?
Mm. No. This I'm saying, let's say you are working on a company, okay? So many applications are there which are company based, correct? So if you're already logged in, let's say you have a company laptop and some applications are developed for yourself by the company. So do you need to log in every time when you visit those applications,
No, sir.
right? So you are already logged into your Windows, na? So that login you will get those applications you can already log in because you are already logged in the Windows. So that is the Windows login. Okay. Google login is third party login. What do we select? At the time of login, either you can, if you know the user and the password, you can do that, or you can use Google also to log in. Okay. So first we will see the hardcode login today. Now, so we have a login form over here. We have email address and the password. So obviously we will need a template form or something. So we will go with the template form. So we have to use forms module. Then let's say login object colon any. Now instead of any, you can create a class also. So let's create class over here. Class login. I didn't added the export keyword. So can I use it over here?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Improperly. When do we need export keyword?
No, sir.
I'm asking
when
when do
it's
we need,
outside of the component.
right? So because this class, I'm going to use it over here only in the same class. So I don't need export keyword. Okay. Constructor, this dot email is equal to empty. This dot password is equal to empty. Fine. Now instead of any, I can use this. Okay. Now it's a class, so we have to make use of new operator to initialize it. Clear? Now this object we need to bind over here. Square bracket, round bracket, ng model. Login object dot email. And password. login object dot password. But we are using ng model inside form tag, so name attribute will be mandatory. And same property name we have to bind it over here.
So what you said, हमने कुछ बोला था अभी, we need a name attribute.
See, if you are using ng model inside a form tag, then name attribute is
Oh
mandatory.
yeah.
Okay, but if form tag is not there, then name attribute is not mandatory. Fine. Now on click of button. One more thing. Whenever we are working in Angular, now always use button tag. Submit tags sometimes can behave differently. Always go for input type button. Even if you don't have type now, it can use submit. Okay, so always use type button. Click on login. Fine. So now, as I said, we are going to do the hard code login, right? So hard code login is like we have to hard code the credential over here. So here, if this dot login object dot email, if user provide email like admin@gmail.com and both the things we need to match. Password also, login object dot password is equal to admin@123. So if user provide email ID as this and password as this, then only we will allow him to log in. Okay. If he provide anything else, we will say else alert wrong credential.
So we can use
Hmm?
in my last application we were using a trim as well, email.trim, because sometimes the
So see,
user
sometimes
accidentally put.
right. So sometimes what he can do, sometimes he can add a space also, right? So there it can break. So we have to trim also. Okay. Now let's add a debugger. So once user has provided proper email ID and the address, email ID and the email ID and the password. So we have to allow him to log in. Means when we have to allow him to log in means by default we have to navigate him to inside the application. So any of the route. So once user log in, I will be navigating him to the dashboard page. Okay. So now from .ts we have to navigate. So how do we navigate from .ts?
router module.
Wait, see, some guys are there who are fresher also. Okay. So if you know, just stay silent for some time. From those who are learning it for the first time, have I explained this? Like how do we navigate from .ts?
No.
sir.
Right. So first of all, how do we navigate from HTML? How do we navigate from HTML? That I have
Using
explained.
router link.
Router link. So if you see the nav bar here, we have a router link. So by using router link, we can navigate from one page to another. Correct? Now, if we have to do the same thing from .ts, so in .ts, we have to make use of router service. Okay. So router is equal to inject. What service? Router service. See, router. Okay, input has been automatically added. So from .ts, if we have to navigate, we have to make use of router service. Okay, then this dot router dot navigate method is there. Navigate and navigate by URL. For first time, we are using navigate by URL. So here, what it needs? This is a function from our router service. What it needs? This is a function.
URL.
URL. URL means nothing but your route name. So our route name is dashboard. Okay. So what you written over here now, router link and your route name, same thing we are writing in .ts. Understood? So once user provide the proper credential, it will go inside the if block and it will navigate to the dashboard page by using this dot router dot navigate by URL. So from .ts, if you have to navigate, you are going to use this way. First, you have to create the router service object. Then router.navigate by URL, and whatever the route name you have to navigate, that you need to pass it over here.
So, sorry, over here, we don't have to mention the parent layout
No,
component.
we didn't add the, it's empty. Again, if we add over here as admin, then our routing will be like admin/dashboard. Understood? While routing, creating routes, if we have something over here, then your routing will be like this. But if you keep it as empty, use just dashboard. And when you are navigating to dashboard, it knows dashboard is a children of this component. Okay. Let's see. Let's say. So by default, login page is there. Let's try the wrong password first. If I click on login, the email has also something and password is also having something, but that's wrong. So it will go to the else block. Okay. Now let's try the correct password. admin@gmail.com and password is admin@123. Login. So in login object, we got the correct data. Now it should go to the if statement. Okay. So now from if statement, we are going to use the router.navigate by URL. So see if you currently login URL is there. Once I continue, it will navigate to dashboard. See, dashboard is there, but we got our navbar, but dashboard component is not loaded anywhere here. It's not loaded over here, right? So if you see in the dashboard, in the layout component, we have a navbar, right? What is missing over here? How does activated component router outlet, right? So if we have to load activated route, we need router outlet, right? So here we need router. Okay. Now in app component, we have to add the router outlet also, right? So router outlet, and we are going to use router link also. So router link also. Both the things we need. Then after navbar, we will have router outlet. Okay. Now our dashboard component will load. See. Okay. So now in our application, we have two times router outlet. First in app component and second in our layout component. Because after login, we are having this component as a parent component. So if we don't have it router outlet over here, so activated route component, it's not going to load. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So this is what our behavior. So by default, login page is there.
So my question is over here, why we don't have layout slash dashboard over there on its
Did
get
we
login?
do we have layout? Layout is our component, na? But how do we access component? Do we provide component name in the URL? What do we
No.
provide in the URL? This is component name or the route name, right? We provide route name, na? So directly if we provide dashboard, it knows dashboard is a children of this. So we don't have to provide the layout. We are already, layout component is already there once we navigate to the dashboard because its parent component is the layout. So we don't have to provide layout. Layout is a component, na? It's not a route name. As I said, if you add admin over here, then your routing will change. Admin slash. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So whenever you have to implement the login page in admin application, first your routing structure like this, an extra component you have to create that is layout where you will have the navbar. Router outlet will be at the two times. One is your wherever you have the navbar after that and in your app component also. Okay. Understood everyone? Now since we logged in, here we should have a log off button. So let's do that quickly. So here we have instead of search, let's make it log off. Click event on log off. Now on click of log off, what we need to do? On click of log off, what we need to do?
Redirect to login page.
Right? Once user clicked on log off, again we have to navigate back him to the login page. Again from .ts we are going to navigate. So what you need to do?
Router link.
Router service.
Router
Not router.
service.
Router service object we need to create, na? What are the various ways by we can create object of our services?
Through inject, through constructor.
Inject and through constructor. Inject from which version we have got?
17.
16.
16. Okay, from 16 we got. As I said, these are the intro question. Don't forget. Router, inject, authguard, interceptor as a function. We got it from 16. Okay. So private router. Either you will create like this. This is called dependency injection. Okay. Or you can make use of inject. So this dot router dot navigate. Now see, when we log in, we use navigate by URL. One more method is there, that is navigate only. Okay. But this needs, what it needs?
Array.
Array. Okay. So it needs array. So here first parameter will be your route name. Okay, if I click on log off, see, I am coming back to the login page. So this is the structure. What do we have when we say login? Understood? But here, when we log in, as it's a web application, so we need to store something in the browser. Why? Because let's say I log off. Okay. And I know the URL. So if I directly provide the dashboard, what's the spelling for dashboard? Okay, spelling mistake is there. But let's visit employee list. I'm not logged in right now. Okay. So if I try to access the route, if I know the URL and I'm directly entering, I'm still able to access the application. But this should not happen, correct? If user is not logged in, he should not be able to access the page. Correct? So we have to
Yes.
restrict user. If user is not logged in, we have to restrict user on the login page only. Correct? So for
Yes.
that, we have to use guard. Okay, what's the normal understanding of guard, right? That same behaves over here. So guard will check if user is logged in or not. If user is logged in, he will allow him to log in, allow him to access that page. Otherwise, he will redirect him to the login page. What I'm saying, guard. So guard work is whenever we navigate to any page, it will check if user is logged in. If he is logged in, then only he will allow him to access that page. Otherwise, he will redirect to the login. Understood? So in guard also, we have so many guard. First, we are going to see canActivate guard. Okay. But when we are logging, how user will know that user is logged in? So we need to store something in our session storage or local storage or index or Kunki in our browser. We need to store something. Okay. So we will use session storage. So session storage dot set item. Okay. What type of data we can store in session storage or local storage?
JSON.
Key value.
What
Key
type
value.
of data type we can store?
String.
String only. Okay. See, string only type of data we can store. So guys, please be on mute if I'm not talking. User. Let's say 27 user. This is our key. After that, we need the logged in email ID. So this I'm using it over here. Okay. So now if user is successfully logged in, we know that in session storage, we have the data. So how do we know that user is logged in or not? We have to check the session storage. If the session storage has the data and we know that user is logged in, and when we log off, we have to clear that session storage also. So session storage dot remove item. And what is our key? Whatever the key by which we are storing the data. So 27 user. Let's first test this. If we are able to store the data and on click of log off, we are able to remove it. Let's open the session storage, application, session storage. Currently it's empty. Okay. Now if I log in, continue. Again, if you check the session storage, you can see key name is 27 and we got the logged in username. So user is logged in. Okay. Now if I click on log off, see data got removed. Understood this? So when we are logging, we are storing some data into our session storage, and on click of log off, we are removing the data from the session storage. Clear?
Sir, navigate except array only.
Navigate?
Except array only.
Yes, we have to provide array over here. Navigate by URL will have a string. See over here. What it needs? String type of data. But if you check the navigate function, it needs array. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Again, we will navigate with query parameter. Then again, we will see this navigate. Okay. Now, so those when user is जब user login कर रहा है तो हम local storage में session storage में data save कर रहे हैं और log out करने के बाद वही data remove भी कर रहे हैं. Okay. अगर remove नहीं किया तो what if we don't remove the data when user is logged off? We should or we should not?
नेक्स्ट टाइम आएगा तो लॉगिन ही हो जाएगा डायरेक्ट.
Right. So it's again application specific. But almost like when you say log off, obviously you should not store some data anywhere of the logged in user, right? So we always clear the data. Fine. Now, when user is logged in, we are storing some data into local session storage. Now we have to implement the guard. So let's create one more folder, guard. Now inside guard, we have to create our canActivate guard. So ng generate guard. I'm giving name as auth. Okay. Enter. So as I said, multiple guards are there. So it will ask you like which guard you need. canActivate, canActivate child, can deactivate, can match. So we just need canActivate. Okay. So what you need to do, you can use arrow to select whatever the guard you need to select, you need to enter the space. Okay. So canActivate and then press enter. So you can see guard has been created. So this guard, what is this? What is this?
फंक्शन.
Right? Arrow function. So before Angular 16, it used to be a service, but from Angular 16, we got it as a function. So if your project is before Angular 16, you will find that guard is a service. And most of you are going to work on an older project only. Okay. So previously guard and interceptor was service, but after Angular 16, we got them as a arrow function. Okay. Now, so we created guard. Now, as I said, what's the purpose of guard? Whenever user try to navigate to any page, our guard will execute. Guard will check if user is logged in or not. If user is logged in, we will allow him to access that page. If not, we will redirecting him to the login page. That's the functionality of canActivate guard. Okay. So now here we need to write that logic. It's not going to do that automatically. We need to write the logic, whatever I said. So here, first, we need to create the variable and read the local storage data. Why I'm, so wait, let me write logged data. So
So this
session,
can also be done logic and we can write in the service as well, right?
but how you will execute the service on route change? If you write that piece of code into your service, that function, how you will execute when you are navigating? We cannot, right? Because service function we call in a particular component, not when component get changed. Na? Understood?
Mhm.
So guard is a specific thing for that. What's our 27
So
user?
before rendering the component in
Guard will
each
execute.
route properties,
This
this
will execute.
function will get executed.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So in this function, what we are doing? First, we are reading the session storage data. Then, if the session storage has this data, if in the session storage we have this data, so this logged variable won't be null. Okay. So not null check we have to add. If data is there, means logged in data will have some data, it won't be null. So we have to return true over here. So when we say return true, means we are allowing user to log in. But if logged data variable is null, means in session storage, we don't have any key with 27 user, means user is not logged in. So it will go to the else block. Okay. In else block, we have to navigate back to the login page. So for that, again, we have to create a service. So constant. Why we are creating variable like this constant? To create variable,
Because
we
it's
don't need
saved in
constant,
the
na?
session storage and we cannot
No,
change.
no.
No,
My question
it's
is,
ये
Value will not be changed.
It is only for local storage, local class.
no, see our class. We are not using const over here. And we cannot use const also over here. See, it's giving error, right?
That's
Can
a
we use
function, not a
const?
class. That's a function.
We are creating this variable inside a class. Okay. Now over here, do we have class?
No, that's a
no.
function.
Function. So how do we create a variable in function? By using const or let. Understood?
Yes, yes.
So this is basic, right? So see how many guys got
Yes.
confused. So small thing interviewer will ask you just to check your basic knowledge is clear or not. Okay. Now. Okay.
It
We
means
need the router
in the
service.
class it is not accessible, right?
Yeah, in class we see this is arrow function, na? So if we have,
Yes,
it's a function. So in the function, how do we create a variable? By using constant or let, right? This is
yes,
JavaScript concept.
yes, yes.
Okay. So now we have to create router. So router,
What's the nature of this function is return? It returns, right?
it. Yeah,
The
we have
type
to
of
return. Na?
can
See,
activate.
if you hover on this function, what's the return type of this function?
Boolean.
True or undefined.
Right? Undefined it's coming because we didn't return anything over here. Okay. So first, let me just inject router and over here not required this now router dot navigate by URL, and when we have where we have to navigate, so login, and after that return false, because the return type of this function is Boolean, so we have to return it false. Okay. Now let's add a debugger over here inside this function. So what type of
So
logic
then we are not using those parameter route and state.
yeah,
Number
we are
line
not
4.
using it. We are not using it. Okay. So see what logic we have written over here. We are checking if the session storage has the data or not. If session storage has the data, we are returning true, means user will be able to access whatever the page he is trying to access. But if in the session storage we don't have the data, it will go to the else block. And in else block, what we are doing, we are navigating him to the login page. Okay. Now we
Sir,
have created.
this 27 user will not change. It is remains same every time in the session.
Means
I mean to say that in the get item you given the 27, right?
when we are logging,
on the basis of session, right?
see, when we are logging, we are storing the data inside this key, na?
Okay. Got it.
Right? This will denote like which user is logged in or not. That's only we are reading. Okay.
Sir, I have also question. So what's the meaning of canActivate FN on number 4 with colon? Means type of that
Data type.
function?
Yeah. After C, how we write the function? Normally this. But if after colon we specify anything, that's the data type, right?
But we are returning true and false. True or false, sorry.
If you go to this function, okay, here they are not specifying, somewhere it might be there. By default, return type. See, this function we are implementing. This canActivate function is already created. See, you can see the definition of it. We are just implementing that in our function. It's like providing a data type to this function, just like how we provide a data type to our variable. So function has also a data type. This function is of type canActivate function, and return type of canActivate is Boolean. See, understood?
Okay.
Just like how we create a variable and we provide a data type, just like that, this function is of type of canAct. This is our function, na? Because when we created a guard, we provided a name auth. So it has created that function, but the data type is canActivate. This function is of type canActivate function. Okay,
Okay.
fine. So we have created this canActivate guard. Now this guard we need to add in our route. So we have to go to our route. Let's say employee list. Okay. So on employee list, I'm adding guard. So here we have to say which, as I said, there are multiple guard. So we have to specify which guard. So canActivate colon. What type of data it needs? canActivate. What type of data it needs?
True or false?
No, na. See,
Array, sir.
array na. Any of array.
Array.
So here we need to specify array, and here you need to specify your guard function. On one route, you can provide multiple guard. So that's why it is array. Okay. Now see. So we create guard, and after that guard we have to add on our route. Okay. So now see. If I try to access employee list, see my guard function got executed. So what's the meaning of canActivate? Before activating your route, this function will execute. So now here we have written the logic. Currently in the session storage, we don't have any data. So you can see we got it, why we got this as null. Okay, so that's the check we have added. If it is not null, it will have written true. But since it is null, it would go to the else block. We are navigating back him to the login page. Got it? But if we try to access another page, we have added guard on this employee list. If I try to access the variable, on variable page, we didn't add any guard, right? So now he will be able to access the page because my guard function didn't execute it. See, it directly loaded the variable component. Understood? It's like we have several buildings. On only one building, we have added a guard. So he will only check, like while entering, he will only check the identity. But remaining building, we didn't added the guard. So we can directly visit the building, just like that. Understood the functionality of guard? On whatever the route you add the guard, there only that guard function will execute. Now, if I add this canActivate on the variable also. Now, if I'm already in the variable, again page will redirect because we saved. Again, you can see guard function got executed. It will navigate. Let's try structural directive. If I try to access the structural directive, this structural directive route doesn't have any guard, so I can directly visit that page. Because my guard function won't execute. See, guard function doesn't execute it. Directly my HTML page load. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So wherever you have added the guard, where do we add the guard? On the route. So if whatever the route you are visiting, If that route has a guard implemented, so your guard will execute and that your login functionality code will check, like if user is logged in or not. Okay. But if your route doesn't have a guard, you will directly access that page. So that's why when we access variable page, that route has a guard. So it is going to your guard page and it will check that if user is logged in or not. If not, it will again redirecting him to the login page. Understood? So now you have protected your application. If user is not logged in, user won't be able to access the page. Now in route, instead of adding this on every route, we know like all the route which are inside the layout are going to be protected route. So we can add the guard over here also. Now you don't need to add the guard in every route. So now even if I access the variable, see, still my guard function executed. If I access pipe, still my guard function executed because we have added a guard on parent. Understood? Either you can add it individual route or you can add it on the parent also. That is also fine. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So what's the purpose of canActivate guard? We restrict user from accessing the page. If user is not logged in, we will not allowing him to log in. That's the functionality of guard. So whenever we implement the login page, once you have done implementing the login page, obviously you need to implement the guard also. And which guard? canActivate guard, not the remaining. Only canActivate is the right guard for this scenario. ओके फिर से रिपीट करता हूं मैं भी हिंदी में रिपीट करूंगा सो जब भी मुझे लॉगिन पेज इंप्लीमेंट करना है सबसे पहले मैं क्या करूंगा अगर मेरा एडमिन काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन है तो मैं दो कंपोनेंट क्रिएट करूंगा लॉगिन और लेआउट लेआउट बोलो या हेडर बोलो या फिर होम बोलो एक एक्स्ट्रा कंपोनेंट जहां पे तुम क्या करोगे तुम्हारा नावबार रहेगा राउटर आउटलेट के साथ ठीक है और लॉगिन कंपोनेंट फिर तुम्हारा आता है राउटिंग का स्ट्रक्चर अगर तुम्हारा एप्लीकेशन एडमिन काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन है तो तुम्हें राउटिंग लगेगा ऐसा जहां पे और एक एक्स्ट्रा कंपोनेंट है उसका राउट रहेगा और उसके चिल्ड्रन में सारे कंपोनेंट के राउट रहेंगे मतलब ये राउट कौन से है ये ऐसे कंपोनेंट है जो तुम लॉगिन करने के बाद ही एक्सेस करने वाले हो तो ये सारे राउट कहाँ पे जाएंगे चिल्ड्रन में तुम्हारे ये वाले एक्स्ट्रा जो कंपोनेंट क्रिएट करेंगे ना उसका राउट रहेगा वो ओके फिर तुम्हारा लॉगिन सो लॉगिन भी करते वक्त तुम्हें दो टाइप के लॉगिन रहेंगे एक तो हार्डकोड लॉगिन या फिर एपीआई लॉगिन हार्डकोड लॉगिन इज इन कोड में ही हम हार्डकोड करेंगे कि कौन से यूजर अलाउड है तो यहाँ पे हमने चेक किया कि ईमेल अगर ये है और पासवर्ड ये है तो ही मैं लॉगिन करने दूंगा सो लॉगिन होने के बाद अगर यूजर ने क्रेडेंशियल ये डाला तो उसके बाद हमें नेविगेट करना है अंदर एप्लीकेशन के अंदर सो हम डॉट टीएस से नेविगेट करना चाहते हैं तो डॉट टीएस से नेविगेट करना है तो हमें क्या करना पड़ता है राउटर सर्विस का ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करना पड़ता है बाय यूजिंग इंजेक्ट सर्विस वी आर इंजेक्टिंग अवर राउटर सर्विस सो दिस डॉट राउटर बाय राउटर डॉट नेविगेट बाय यूआरएल और उसको हमें क्या भेजना है राउट डैशबोर्ड सो जो भी अंदर का राउट है जहां पे भी तुम्हें लॉगिन के बाद जहां पे भी तुम्हें बाय डिफॉल्ट नेविगेट करना है तो वो राउट का नाम तुम यहाँ पे दे दोगे सो अगर यूजर ने करेक्ट क्रेडेंशियल डाला तो वो क्या करेगा नेविगेट बाय यूआरएल से यूआरएल राउट पे नेविगेट हो जाएगा और तुम्हें वो फिर नावबार एंड एवरीथिंग देखने को मिलेगा ओके बट नॉर्मली जब भी हम लॉग इन करते हैं तो हमें कौन सा यूजर लॉग्ड इन हुआ है उसका डिटेल हमें लोकल स्टोरेज सेशन स्टोरेज कुकीज या फिर सर्विस कहीं ना कहीं हमें ब्राउजर में स्टोर करना होता है तो उसके लिए हमने जो लॉग्ड इन यूजर नेम है वो मैंने सेशन स्टोरेज में सेव किया ओके सो अब अगर मैं लॉग इन करता हूँ सो अपना बाय डिफॉल्ट सेशन स्टोरेज में कुछ भी नहीं है एम्प्टी है तो जब मैं लॉग इन करता हूँ दो चीजें होगी नेविगेट भी होगा डैशबोर्ड पे और लोकल स्टोरेज में मेरा डिटेल भी सेव हो गया ओके और लॉग ऑफ पे अपन क्या कर रहे हैं नेविगेट बैक हिम टू द लॉगिन पेज और लोकल स्टोरेज का डेटा भी रिमूव कर रहे हैं ओके बट ये हो गया अपना लॉगिन पेज। बट अगर यूजर ने लॉगिन नहीं किया है तो मुझे मेरा पेज, जो भी मेरे प्रोटेक्टेड राउट है, तो वो एक्सेस नहीं करने देना है। तो हमें क्या करना है, राउट गार्ड क्रिएट करना है। गार्ड क्रिएट करने की कमांड क्या है, ng जनरेट गार्ड, और उसके बाद तुम्हारे गार्ड का नाम। फिर वो पूछता है कि कौन से टाइप का गार्ड क्रिएट करना है, तो वो सिलेक्ट करो स्पेस से और एंटर मारो, कैन एक्टिवेट। तो जैसे ही तुम कैन एक्टिवेट सिलेक्ट करोगे तो तुम्हारा कैन एक्टिवेट गार्ड क्रिएट होगा। हमारे गार्ड के लॉजिक में क्या लॉजिक लिखा हमने, कि हम चेक कर रहे हैं कि यूजर लॉग्ड इन है कि नहीं। अगर है तो हम उसको वो पेज एक्सेस करने देंगे, अदरवाइज रीडायरेक्ट टू लॉगिन। तो वो हम कैसे कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि लॉगिन करते वक्त हम लोग को सेशन स्टोरेज में डेटा सेव कर रहे हैं, राइट। सो वही चेक कर रहे हैं हम कि सेशन स्टोरेज में डेटा अगर है तो हम उसको लॉगिन करने देते हैं, अदरवाइज हम लॉगिन पे रिडायरेक्ट कर रहे हैं। और ये जो हमने गार्ड क्रिएट किया, वो जो जहां जहां पे हमने जो जो राउट को हमको प्रोटेक्ट करना है, उस राउट पे हम ये अपना गार्ड लगाते हैं। एक तो इंडिविजुअली गार्ड राउट पे लगाओ या फिर ये पैरेंट पे लगा दो। तो दीज आर द ऑल थिंग्स यू हैव टू डू व्हेन वी इंप्लीमेंट लॉगिन। क्लियर है सबको। और ये वन टाइम प्रोसेस है, जब भी अपन प्रोजेक्ट पे काम करते हैं ये एक बार हो गया, उसके बाद कोई हाथ भी नहीं लगाता इसको, गार्ड को लॉगिन पेज को कोई हाथ नहीं लगाता उसके बाद। इट्स वन टाइम थिंग। ओके, क्लियर एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
सर,
एनीवन हैव एनी
हॅलो
डाउट?
सर.
यस.
सर, हे जे लेआउट कंपोनेंट आहे ते ऍप कंपोनेंटच्या राउटर आउटलेट मध्ये येणार ना सर?
नाही. हा, see, in our application we have two times router outlet. One is the app, one is in the app component. So this router outlet will be used for routes which are outside this, means parent route only. Okay, see, if I provide we have implemented our wildcard route, not found component, right? So see, whatever the routes you have outside that, means at the parent level, they will use app component as your parent component. Let's say we will create one more component, g generate component info. Okay, I'm creating an info component where we can show some info. We know that it's an admin application, but we need to have a page where we are going to show some information, and which page will be accessible without login also. Okay, so we will create a route of it. Path, information, and component, info component. Okay, so, and in login component we will have some link to navigate. Okay, anchor tag. Router link, we have to import the router link. Okay, so see what we have done. We have created a route, we have created a component, something information, means this is an admin application, but we have to showcase some information like what's this application, how do you can register and everything. Some information we need to show. And this component we have to keep it open. Without login also user should be able to access this. And when user access this, we don't want to show him the navbar. Okay, because this is open component. So we keep our route at the top level. So now when we hit the login page, and if I click on information, see why it is saying, okay, so see how my route is login/information. So here what we did, over here we directly add the information, so we need to add slash, otherwise it will check the current route, after that it will add the route. So now it will navigate properly. Okay, now if I click, see, info work. So whatever the parent routes are there, these routes will consider app component as their parent component. Okay. Parent route will consider app component as their parent component. But once user logged in, after that, all these component will refer layout component as your parent component. Understood now? Who was having that question? कोणी विचारलं?
सर
क्लिअर राजेश आता?
हा सर
जोपर्यंत युजर लॉग इन नाही आहे, म्हणजे बाहेरचे राऊट जे आहे, जसं मी आता हा एक्स्ट्रा अजून क्रिएट करून दाखवला. सो ह्या सगळ्यांसाठी पॅरेंट कंपोनंट कोणता आहे? ऍप कंपोनंट. कारण युजर अजून लॉग्ड इन नाही आहे. पण जेव्हा युजर लॉग्ड इन होत आहे तेव्हा आपण कुठे रिडायरेक्ट होतो? यापैकी कोणत्या तरी कंपोनंटला रिडायरेक्ट होतो. सो हे सगळे राऊट कुठे आहे? याच्या आतमध्ये आहे.
लेआउटच्या
राईट. सो या सगळ्यांसाठी पॅरेंट कंपोनंट कोणता आहे? हा.
लेआउट.
ओके.
ओके सर.
अंडरस्टूड एवरीवन?
सर ये इन्फो वाली जो राउट की पोजीशन है ये फिर ऊपर ही रखनी पड़ेगी ना, जो
ऑब्वियसली ना,
नीचे
अगर तुम अंदर रखोगे, इफ यू पुट दिस राउट इनसाइड दैट,
वो चाइल्ड में आ
you
जाएगा.
cannot access because we have a
तो ये नहीं
guard,
करेगा.
right? Again, let's say you didn't add the guard over here, and let's say individually you added guard in all the route, but still, if you access this component, you will get to see the navbar because you are in the layout. Understood, na? See,
यस सर, समझ.
if I move, see, I'm able to see the route, right? So we don't have to show the route, na? Because this component should be outside the login. That's why we have to keep it outside. Clear, everyone? Why we have to keep it outside? If we put it inside, we will get to see that navbar also. Okay.
सर ते राउटर लिंक मध्ये तुम्ही स्लॅश का यूज केलं?
One more thing. See, in login HTML, we have used router link over here. If you don't provide slash over here, you just have information, route name. So see what happens. By default, we are at the login page. If I click on this information, see the route, okay? See the URL. After login, information will get added. Now, do we have any route like this? So our wildcard route got executed. So when you navigate like this, now, whatever your current route is there, after that it will add this information. You don't want to like that. Now you have to navigate to over here. So that's why you add slash. So what it will does, it will ignore this login. Okay. And after the slash, it will add. So see, now if I click on information, it will replace that login and it will add the route name. Clear? So whenever we use router link, this slash should be there. Okay. Always have a habit of putting slash whenever you do the routing, either from here or from .ts, everywhere you should add the slash. Okay. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Anyone having any question? Shall I explain login with API or tomorrow?
सर मैंने ये इंक्वायरी वाला जो है ना एपीआई बनाया है उसमें कुछ वो आ रही है, एरर आ रही है सर.
Wait. Guys, shall I explain login with API or can we see that tomorrow?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
We have see the can activate and another cards.
Guards.
What is the
See, ng generate guard. So we have can activate. Okay. Then we have can activate child. So can activate child and can activate, these are similar guard. Okay. So instead of can activate, we could have used can activate child also, because these are the child of this parent, right? So here we could have used can activate child also. These both are same. Okay. Can deactivate means if you are navigating from one component to another. If you are navigating from one component to another and you want to write a code, right? Do you want to allow that navigation? देखो, what is happening? What's the function of canActivate? When we are trying to access a page, canActivate guard will execute. Understood?
Yes.
When we are trying to visit a page. But if you are trying to leave a page and you need to write some code, that do you want to allow leaving that page or not? So that you can implement in can deactivate. Understood? Vice versa,
Yes.
na? Can activate, can deactivate. Vice versa. Can activate when you are trying to visit, and can deactivate when you are trying to navigate back. Clear?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Can match was not there previously. I also didn't see
So
can.
that also cannot be achieved through any function. It will also be in can deactivator, right?
No. What's the purpose of can match? Previously, load was there. Can match. I don't know from where we got this.
For lazy loading, I think.
Deciding a route can be matched. No, this is for matching only. Deciding if a route can be matched. Just like wildcard route, I think. Let's try to read it. Okay, we got it from Angular 14. Okay. What are the simple and true or false?
हाँ एक और गार्ड भी है कैन लोड वाला.
Can load. I know. Can load was there. Can match is effectively replacement of can load. Okay, it's a replacement of can load. Okay. So
Replacement.
previously can load guard was there, but I think it's a replacement of can load with can match. Can load, can activate. Can match is a symbol. It says whether a route matches the current URL. It just behaves like a wildcard route. It checks like if the route is correct. And in routing, do we have a route or not? Like that. Okay. They have created it or not. He didn't explain if he created it. Fine. Again, we have resolve guard is also there. That we won't get it over here. So that is also there. Resolve guard. Okay.
कैन डिस्ट्रॉय है ना सर, वो भी एक
Can
ये.
destroy component level, right?
Okay.
That is on component level. But if you need to write some unique logic overall the component, then you move that logic into your guard. If you need to write some specific code while navigating from the component, that code you will write in your ng on destroy. But if you need some piece of code that will be available across all the component, before navigating from any component, you need to execute some code. So there you will use can deactivate. Correct?
Okay.
Everyone understood his question?
Yes.
Because what we can write in can deactivate, we can write it in the component also, na? By using ng on destroy. Before destroying the component, that we can write that logic over here. But overall, all the component you have to write some code. Before deactivating, you need to write some code before ng on destroy. Before that component is getting destroyed, you need to execute some code. So instead of writing that code in every component ng on destroy, you can move that code into your can deactivate. Okay? समझा सबको?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else have any question? Let's see the API integration tomorrow then. Instead of this, we will make the API call. And API, from API, we will get to know like user credentials are correct or not. Whatever we have written it over here, this only API will like authenticate. Okay. Anyone else have any doubt? Otherwise, we can stop.
So can you stop the recording?